So I am making what is now my favorite tidbit. But I got a lot to talk about and I got a lot to say, but I don't know where to start. I don't know if I should start at my dream. Yeah, maybe I should start there. Okay, so my dream, it was this huge ant. We was in this old house. We was in this house, and we was in this room, and it was this huge, well, not that huge, this ant was, I would say, this size right here. This ant was this size, and it was crawling out the wall. And after, so I went to kill that ant, and I chopped it off at both ends. Like, after I killed it, I smashed it with like a big book. I smashed it with a big book or something, you know, matching its size. So I killed it, I smashed it, and then I didn't know if it was dead or not because it kept like blinking and stuff. So then I cut it off at one end. I cut it off at the bottom where, you know, they got that little thing at the back. I cut that, and then I cut off one of the antennas. Then I poked it in the head. You know how you would shoot like a person in their head just to make sure they're dead? I poked it in the head with, I think, like a knife or something to make sure it's dead. So then something else came out the wall, and it was more. It was like a whole bunch of small, like these ones was about this big. That's the smallest it's gonna get, and it was like ants, flies, spider flies, or something like that. I remember because I was arguing with somebody, and I was like, I want to call it a spider firefly, spider, yeah, firefly or something like that. And that thing started crawling, and then it started talking. It started talking to me, and I'm standing on the step, and I'm like, this thing is talking. Like, I can understand it, but I wasn't really thinking about it as talking too much. I was actually talking back to it. And we standing there talking to each other. And I don't know what it was talking about, but I was talking to it. And then, so I'm still kind of scared of him. At the same time, I'm talking to him, but I'm still scared of him because there's a lot of them, and I'm only talking, like, I think to a couple of them. So we all make our way to the kitchen, and this is where the ant was. So we all make our way to the kitchen, and we made our way to the kitchen, and then we sitting there arguing about what to call it, because, like I said, I was like, I want to call it this because it's a spider, you know, and it flies, and I want to call it a spider firefly, something like that. And I was like, I couldn't get out, like I couldn't get it out at the time, so I said it a few times, and then I said it a certain way. They was like, there you go, say it that way. I was like, no, I want to say it this way. And I was like, I know what I want to say, but I can't really get it out. So spider firefly is something like that, but that's not actually the name I want to call it. So then they are, so then, like, a whole bunch of them, like, they all just over the ground, walking over the ground, and I'm just like, that's a creep, but at the same time, you know, the fact that they can talk is kind of calming my nerves. So then, so I'm like, I gotta get a picture of these. you know, because ain't nobody gonna believe me. I gotta get a picture. Even if I do get a picture, it kind of looks fake, and I hope it don't look fake. Because, so I'm trying to get a picture of this dead ant, because it's humongous and it's the only ant. So I'm trying to get a picture of it, and you can see all of those little bugs just around. They all around it, just praising and like they're happy because it's dead, I guess, because I killed it. So maybe this ant was the reason why they wasn't coming out. So I killed the ant, and they all started, you know, they all dancing around the ant because it's dead. So I finally get my picture. I go and take a picture of it, and in my picture, the ant is looking up at the camera smiling. His head is actually lifted up looking at the camera smiling. I'm like, dang, this ant ain't dead. And I wind up running, but I closed the door behind me, and I noticed, like, it was like 2 of my friends that was, you know, human, just like me. And then it was the ants and the bugs. I'm like, I run out, but I left them behind. They still at the kitchen table. I'm like, dang, what am I supposed to do now? I jumped up out my dream. As soon as I ran out, like, as soon as I started thinking about them, I already woke up from my dream, and I was out of there. And now I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I woke up like creepy, so creeped out, you know. I'm just sitting on the couch like, what the heck just happened? So before that, since we got that out the way, I actually want to talk about, there was a verse in the Bible I was reading, and it was like, it was talking about how you should give a tenth of any gifts or anything that you receive, like give your gifts and talents. You give a tenth of that to a portion. You give all of your talents and your own gifts to God. No matter what it is, you give it all to God, and then I think you receive a tenth. I'll reread that verse again. So I'm just thinking, like, when I read that verse, I was like, wow. You know, I remember being in church, sitting there, and oh yeah, so this is my dip. I gotta get my I'm about to eat it like that. It's not good. I remember being in church, and I was just sitting there while they was worshiping, and I was kind of against them. I was against it. I was so mad because I'm just like, you know, I don't see this as, you know, how you tithe. I was just like, wow, this is just pathetic. Like, I was sitting there like, it's pathetic. And because my mom and them used to always, you know, we used to go to church. And I used to go to church with them, and they always wanted me to be all into it. Just because I was into the Bible, I went and I tolerated it, and I accepted it. So the only thing I was mad or disappointed about was the fact that they gave money, the tithing part, early believer in the tithing part. So then, so I don't know. I just felt some type of way about it. I'm telling it like I'm telling the dream. I'm not telling the dream anymore. Oh, but this dip is called Fritos. It's bean cheese dip. So yeah. Okay, so I'll always be in church, but I didn't believe in the tithing part. And the fact that they was passing around money in church, I was just like, that's why they call me heathen and stuff, because I didn't believe in it. So when I think about tithing, I'm thinking about more so, you know how you read about it and you be like, yeah, these talents, your talents
and your gifts, or whatever you give to the Lord, I feel like it's more so of from the spirit, it's from the mind, it's from you and who you are, wisdom, knowledge. And I feel like this is what you give to God when it's talking about give, a portion of this to God. And in the Bible it says, I am your portion. So therefore you give whatever, all that you are, all of your time, all of your mind to God, and whatever you receive back, that's a tenth. God is giving you a tenth of whatever you gave to God. So I feel like the fact that the world has made this out to be money, it's for, so I feel like the world, I feel like the world they manipulated, and deceived this time to where it became money. So everybody's giving their money, giving, tithing $10, $1, $5, they giving out their money, but that's not really what it meant. But like I said, the world turned it into a physical thing. The fact that the world made this into a physical thing, the money and stuff like that, is the fact that it's a physical thing, it became physical, kind of defeats the belief. In order to believe in what is faith and what is belief, what's not seen. What's not seen is having faith. Believing is what's not seen with the eye. So it's like the fact that the world made everything to where you can see it. It's like they're trying to distort your perception, distort your vision, and take away your faith. Because I don't feel like giving or tithing is really meant to be physical, but the fact that the world made it physical, then it became physical. I believe in like trade, like maybe something from your home, like you exchange, like you give somebody this painting, or you give somebody this table, or you give somebody a couch, but not money. I feel like money kind of just interrupted everything. You give somebody your creations like that. You can do it in that way, but at the same time, it's just like money is what we, I feel like we kind of perverted faith and believing with this dollar bill, and this is what we're giving, and we're believing in this dollar bill. But what God is really saying is that your gifts, your talent, like I said, the couch, your talents, your gifts, your mind, your time, that's what God wants. In exchange, I will give you a tenth. You give me all of this, I will give you a tenth. And like I said, God only wants what's good for you, so why not? So something like that. So I was thinking about that. My uncle was a pastor, and his church, we didn't give money. We didn't tithe. We didn't pass around a bucket or a basket with money in it. We didn't. We came and we worshiped, and that was it. We worshiped, we ate, our worship, we mostly sang. But he would give a word, but we didn't have nothing to do with money. It wasn't about money at all. His church was small. His church looked like a little apartment building. It wasn't an apartment building, but that's how small it was. So yeah, rest in peace, my uncle, the preacher. His name was Will, Uncle Will. He passed about 6 years ago. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Our church was full of foreigners as well. But yeah, we didn't have, our family was black, of course, but we was, it was also some white people. I don't know. It was mostly foreigners though. I didn't feel comfortable. I was always like insecure and stuff like that. I don't know. I only felt insecure because they were foreigners and I was black. I was my color and I'm around all these foreigners that you would feel insecure. You feel out of place, and that's what made me insecure because of the fact that they were all foreign, and I just felt like I didn't belong. I didn't feel pretty or nothing. I felt like all of that was, I felt like the fact that they was alike, all of that went to them, and I was just insecure. I was left insecure because I was the only black student in my class and whatnot. But yeah, my friend was a teacher. That's who my friend was. I don't think the teacher was foreign. She might have been. I don't know. But yeah, at my uncle's church, we didn't tithe. We didn't give away money. We didn't do none of that. And that's probably mostly why every time I go to a church and I see them tithing, I automatically basically turn the left cheek. I turn my cheek like, I just felt, I was like, this ain't right. I like your word and everything. I like what you're saying at the church I was going to after, that, because I didn't go to my uncle's church I went to as a child. But, growing up and going into these other churches, I'm like, I like your word and everything, but as soon as you pull out that money, as soon as you start talking about money, you lost me. That's where I stood. So yeah, that's what I had to say about that. God is my portion. God is your portion. And when you tithe, you give from the heart, you give from the mind, you give from within, you give from your being. Just as you see that dollar bill, God sees you as that dollar bill. God sees you as that 100. God sees you as that $5, that $50, that whatever, for whatever you giving out. God sees you as that. I don't want that. I want you. That's how God sees you. You're valuable in God's eyes. That money don't mean nothing. You don't want that money. He wants you, your time. So yeah, I'm out. Y'all have a good morning. Finishing my chips. And yeah, I'm just waking up, so don't mind my hair. Don't talk about my hair. This is me being me. It's being me with y'all. Thank you. Bye.